Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I would like to show you a song that I created mainly with Sunfire 2. You see it already in the background, and I would like to show you a little bit what I did and how I use the DAW then to create the great sound. So, maybe first I show you, maybe it's just some parts and the same parts in the DAW that you can see how it sounds then. By the way, I released this song to Spotify and other platforms. It's called Sum of All Efforts. And of course, yeah, very happy if you listen this on the platforms like Spotify and maybe also subscribe there. Okay, so let's just play some parts and see, and then we can step into what I did. So I do this also to, let's say, encourage you to, yeah, to do great songs with Synfire, and it shows you that's possible, and it really helped me. So, and yeah, and by the way, this the funny thing is that this I didn't use the piano for that. Nothing. I just used the mouse. That's crazy. So I think it's maybe the first time I just used the mouse and no piano or nothing. So, but you will see. So it sounds quite good. Okay, yeah, you hear already. I put a metronome here. The metronome comes not by Synfire, as the Synfire, just doesn't have a metronome for playing. That's I would be happy to have one, so I created here a container just with metronome instrument, and that is repeating cluck cluck cluck. And so I need this to have the feeling of the beat. And okay, so you heard this already, and I also did not tune here the volumes or something. So in Synfire I concentrated absolutely only on the notes, on the melody. Let's have a look in the DAW. So I use Studio One. So you see already what's going on in the DAW is that here is quite nothing for like this container, so no blocks or something. It's just the imported MIDI, and that's not 100% true. What I added in the DAW after that was especially the percussions. So I did not do any percussions in Synfire, and yeah, we come back later here what I did with the percussions. But the melody things I just imported here by MIDI export and import, and here they are. So I cared here in the DAW about the sound. Okay, let's listen how it sounds here in the DAW with cool instruments. Yeah, you hear already. That's a great sound. Okay. Yeah, very clear, good instruments that works. Okay. And one of the greatest instruments is here this pizzicato. Pizzicato. I use it's loading. Here it is. It's Audio Imperia Solo, and this is so great what it is doing, by the way, because it sounds so realistic. Let's have a look only in the pizzicato section here. Wow. Wow, fantastic. And I added another layer here. This is something else. This is from here, Native Instruments, I think, or you can buy through Native Instruments the Stradivari violin. It's not so good as for my ear like the instrument from Audio Imperia, but it has a total different sound. Sounds a little bit more scratchy, I think, and not so, it sounds for me not so versatile, but in combination with the other, so it's, yeah. Okay, back to Synfire. So, okay, so what I did here in Synfire in the beginning is quite a simple thing. Here I added a very simple arp for this, what you already heard. Okay, let's see. This one it should be. Or maybe solo this, okay. So it's always important to have with Synfire enough imagination that the sound later, yeah, it's different. So if you're asking why I'm not using the let's say good cool instruments here in Synfire, I just want to concentrate on composing, and my imagination does the rest. So and it loads faster. So the instruments used here, yeah, I prefer just the handling of the DAW to use the correct final instruments, but that's enough for me. Yeah, and okay, what do we have here? We have here, so the names are not very good, I used here, but it's for me to navigate through. Maybe one downside in Synfire is that you see that the order here, the vertical order of the instruments, it's totally chaotic, and I think there is no way to do it better. Would be great to have a feature, but so I try to order it a little bit, and like I said, the names are not very good, but I don't care, so I just listen to what's playing, and the color shows me in which container contains or handles which instrument. Okay, so we have this, what I call pre-arp. Then I go next to here this arp. Yeah, and so yeah, it does not change very much. You see there's a small gap here in this arp, and later it looks quite similar. So you already see the magic here is not the arp, the magic is the harmony. So let me quickly pause and I will open a little bit more. Okay, let's continue. Now I open the palette, and here you can see that I okay, the main thing is around the E minor, and yeah, so we can click here in the different containers, which yeah, they define the chords, but so progress you can also follow here, or of course you can go to progression, but then you don't see the rest. So, and here is it's called overview, where you can see what's going on, what is the final result, and we can listen. was a small bug that it did not stop here with the color. So okay, so yeah, the magic of the song is in the harmony. That's quite simple on the end. So I can keep this open for a while. So what else is interesting? Okay, instruments. So yeah, here's my configuration, and yeah, so the orchestra kit I just used for the metronome. Here is a hidden one, so I just mute this, yeah, or make it silent. This is for my progression. So I did this to export my my chords to the DAW if I want to see them there. So there's another video I uploaded to YouTube that explains this this way how to get the chords to DAW. Yeah, and the rest are the instruments I use. So let's go back and see. Okay, yeah, my horn. Let's have a quick here. The horns here are quite simple. So you see, just listen here. You see they are green. So green means that I don't play a real melody here in Synfire. And it's a chord, so it's yeah, like it is. Let's see how this sounds here in. Okay, this makes no sense here. How this sounds here in the DAW. Where is it? Ah, yeah, for that, you see, I used not only one horn, I used several horns. And I just duplicated them and used different instruments for the same thing, so then it sounds more massive. So yeah, let's listen just to those horns. So sometimes, of course, if the playable range of an instrument is not fitting here, I have to go into and have to move it one octave down or up or something like this. Yeah, so it's sometimes not 100% MIDI anymore. I imported, so sometimes I changed it a little bit, and but usually by moving the notes up, down, or deleting some notes. Okay. And yeah, here I added here Pandora Brahms short to make it even more impressive. Pandora is also a great library for effect things. So it opened here. So here it is. So it is, let's play only Pandora. Okay, yeah, fine. Yeah, let's have a look here again. The piano. So the piano is here, yes, a little bit the kind of in combination with string, but mainly the piano is the main melody. The funny thing is that if you listen to the song in Sunfire, there are some parts, I think here, for example, there is piano and there's also a cello. I show you, then we talk about this. Oh, I have to unmute here. So. So what is the main instrument here? The point is yeah, I made this decision later, and here I could say, yeah, the cello is very dominant and not the piano, and in the DAW, I made a decision that the piano is more dominant by making the cello a little bit more silent. Let's hear how it sounds here. You see, so that's the freedom of the DAW, that it's very easy to change it. Of course, you have different ways. So that is a very important point when you go to the DAW. So how do you mix the whole thing here? So one part is that you can use automation. So that means for some instruments and some parts, it's maybe sometimes hard to see. I zoom a little bit. Here I change just here the volume of the instrument. It's quite simple. So that's the same as if you change it here in the mixer. That's one possibility. And yeah, that gives a special flavor to some parts, that one instrument is more dominant than the other. That's one way. And the other, and also of course very, very important, is that you work with sidechain compression. So that you make a general decision which instrument has the higher priority in the spectrum of the frequencies. So that means, for example, typically is for me that the percussion and the drums have a very high priority, because otherwise you just lose them in the mud of sound. So, and I created different groups here to collect those different kind of instruments here in an on mixer. And those mixers also have then here, for example, it was just something, let's see, there's a side chain, external compression. In this case, yeah, the piano dumps it. So whenever the piano is playing, so where did I open it? I forgot. I can't remember. Was it the choir? Maybe. Yeah, choir insert, right. So when the piano plays, the choir must provide space. And yeah, okay, that's a different story how to fine tune this, but it happens here everywhere, because yeah, that's the priority you must set. If you don't do this, on the end you have a big muddy, not clear thing, because every instrument has the same priority, but yeah, and then you must lower the volume of everything, and no, the brain wants to hear some instruments in priority, and yeah, give space to those instruments. Okay, let's switch back to Sunfire. Okay, yeah, we were here for the piano, but okay, piano. Here's some piano sections. Piano sections here are not so complicated, as you see, and here there's a repeating thing. Here a very simple melody, and then yeah, some notes in the same line. Here's a more bass note, yeah, and the rest makes the chord, the harmony. So let's solo it and listen. Okay, here we are in this next section. So that's quite the same like here, except that here I'm toggling a little bit the key. Yeah. So what is this for? Here, let's see. I don't see anything, but it should be. Or maybe I wanted to do this. And I'm just no here. No, that's true. It is. It's shift. So I use the shift. Shift is a great functionality of Synfire. This is not available in every version of Synfire. So here, this is the Pro version. There is shift, and what is it doing? It's changing the moment when the key plays. So this is the humanization. Of course, in a DAW, when you do this, it moves the note. So that, I think, is a concept you already know. But in Synfire, you don't move the note. You just give this information that it should move the note. This is so important here to apply this to many instruments. I didn't apply this to all, but like the piano. Why? Because otherwise it sounds artificial. And because your brain recognizes this, and then your brain would maybe automatically think, well, this is made by a computer, which is true. I did this with the computer, yeah, but it should not sound like this. So, okay, I use the shift here, and I use the existing template. Well, you don't see this because I have to scroll a little bit up. There are some templates here you can apply. I can't remember which one, but I think it is soft or strong. I can't remember. Okay, so it humanizes the thing. You see here in gray in the background the notes I added, and the layer above shows you the shift. So when or how I should handle this earlier or later. Great. So important to make it natural. So I use this on some parts here. Okay, the cello. Let's have a look here. I go back to the figure. And cello. Okay, oops, no. And the cello is quite simple, very simple melody here. Here. No. This is not. Okay, so. So you see that is very simple here, but for me the cello here is also more a background instrument, and you would not listen to heavily here on the cello. And let's see where it is. Oh, here it is. Okay. It is louder now because the compression doesn't work, the side chain, because the other instruments are not playing. But you see, so if the other instruments are playing, you don't hear the cello anymore. So what I want to say is that, yes, I know the melody here is very basic, but no one can listen to this if all the other instruments are playing. So I have my main instruments. You have my pizzicato, which is of course also not complex, but it's something that I just like. And then yeah, slow string. Slow string is similar to the cello, but a little bit simpler. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. So there is nothing special with that. And you see the combination in such an epic song. It must be full and rich of instruments providing the right harmony. And yeah, I think the harmony here is quite, it's a good result. So it's not too boring and straightforward, always repeating or something. There are some interesting points, and the chords I use are also not so. Yeah, there's some very interesting chords in. Yeah, okay. So what else? Okay, so we have a lot of things again and again, so different chords. There's a bass, and the bass, the bass here is it's so straightforward. It's always the same technically. So if we have a look here into the figure of it. Oh, I closed it. I didn't want to close it. Here it is. It's always the same. It's only this one. And it's repeating, repeating, repeating. But with the harmony, so of course it changes. Okay, about bass and background, let's go to the DAW. What I added here also is an instrument playing here, Dark Horizon. That's a very nice one. What is it doing? Let's listen. That's it. So that's my second bass. And here I use just the exported chords. This is here the progression. And the progression is a quite simple thing. It's this more or less hidden piano. I don't hear this. And yeah, I used it here for the Dark Horizon as input. So because even if it's a very low sound, and even if you think you don't hear it directly, but yeah, you would hear it, that if it's not in the right harmony. So it changes a little bit. Okay, substance I use here also for the bass. Yeah, I like substance. It's from our output. Very nice. So you see, I like this to combine classical instruments with some synthy sound. That's great. Okay. Yeah, maybe let's jump to the choir. Okay, the choir. So let's listen first here in solo. No, is it not playing? Yeah, it's I think the melody is interesting. So it's, of course, there must be gaps in between to give them a moment to take fresh air. Otherwise, it wouldn't sound realistic. So let's listen how this sounds in the DAW. Here, I used Stormcore Ultimate for my main choir. It's great library, and typically sounds so great if you use more than one note. So yeah, otherwise it's also not so heavy. Okay, that is my main choir. And but that was not enough for me. So I added more choirs, but with different notes. I stole them somewhere, I think from the strings, or not so sure. I think I stole it from the strings. So you see it is an extract from somewhere else. And let's listen here for Freya. Freya, also great library. And I did a very similar thing here. And I stole also those keys from somewhere else. Here is Wotan, so the man. I think there's, if I see this here, this goes in the different direction. That's very nice. Yeah. So yeah, what's the same? It's the same key and a different octave. Okay, and let's listen to all choir sings together. So for me, that sounds great. I think if a real choir would be able to sing so shifted, and that is really a challenge if your neighbor is always singing in a different moment, and wow. But who cares? This the computer makes it possible. That's great. We can hear all instruments together here in this part. So that's the final part, and here I made the choir also a little bit more silent to give a different instrument here, more space, slow strings. I think let's see how it sounds. Boom. Yeah, so you see that can be really great what you can create, but also in this part sounds not so false here in Synfire. Let me show you a quick insight here. Or later. Of course, it's a different sound, but when you compose this, you know already, so it will be better. So concentrate on the sound here, not on the sound, on the melody here, and then later on the sound. Yeah. Yeah, the drums and percussion. So what I did is also here I cheated a little bit, to be honest. So I did two things. First, I used some loops. What a shame, yeah, you may say. But sometimes I just love the existing loops here from Severus. So it's also Audio Imperia, great library, varies heavy and or yeah, very dry. So and with a lot of power. But here. So it's a more kind of decoration. But the main beat I created later here, also with Severus, this, yeah, I did manually. So that is the other one with the ready to go loops is decoration for me. So I was not so sure in the beginning, should I add those percussion and drums or not, but yeah, it just brings a little bit more power and on, yeah, I like the result. So we can mute those for a second, and here let's see what this is. Oh yeah, here also another loop here from Ensemble Metals Heavy or City, but it's just a quick loop here. Yeah, that sounds also quite good, but if we play this with the drums, yeah, I like it more. Here I used string riser, it's Pandora again, so that fits on this position. That's the only position I use this. Yeah, great. So yeah, so there is not a big magic here. Of course it took some time, and I also did not start on the very beginning. I can't remember exactly where I started. Somewhere here, and then I found my way, and so it's always a different way to do the music, and I'm a fan of arpeggios, to be honest. And yeah, so I think they were here very early, and that gives me inspiration, and I added the rest around, and of course the chords, yeah, I did also very early, so to find the right progression here. So means also I did not use so many of the magic possibilities of Synfire. So it was not necessary, or yeah, it was fine for me. So yeah, I created already a lot of nice containers for some nice melodies. So mainly I used the shift. Of course, the figure must be there, and sometime, yeah, of course, I cared about the velocity. Sometimes I forgot here to adjust the velocity. No problem, because I did this then in the DAW and changed it. So in the DAW I did everything around the sound and the loudness and everything. And here I only cared about the melody. So that is my approach. So however, so I would be very happy if you want to listen to the whole song. Go to Spotify, for example. It is called Sum of All Efforts, and maybe subscribe to this channel, subscribe to me, follow me on Spotify for new music. Okay, thank you very much. See you then.